we did we prophecy this? We said
We
that we
might
would
have.
do an episode kind of no matter what happened with award season. So I guess it's not really a prophecy,
Yeah.
but we're here to deliver on our
Here we
award
are.
season thoughts. Well, our Oscars thoughts, really.
Yeah. Here we
with
go.
MacKenzie. You guys know.
Oh
'cause
yeah,
you've
no,
read,
it's
but
here.
I'm with MacKenzie.
It's everybody's favorite loudmouth. I'm back.
Yes, both of us can just yell for a little while.
Yeah. No, that was, I will say, first off,
Mhm.
I want to give mad respect to Conan O'Brien because
Yes.
I was very skeptical of his hosting. I am not a Conan girl.
Right. Me neither.
I never really got his humor. I never
Mm-mm.
really got his thing. Like, I didn't even fully appreciate the whole Conan Jay Leno issue on late night because I truly was like, why would anybody want a Conan O'Brien Tonight Show? Like, I truly did not get it. And
Yeah.
over these last few months, over this last year, have really enjoyed his podcast more.
Oh yeah.
Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. And so
Mhm.
I have grown to enjoy his brand of
Yeah.
humor. I enjoy his level of, I didn't realize how self-aware he was.
That's what I had always heard about his podcast.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
because I took his humor, because I consider him to be very like frat boy in the same kind of vein as a Jimmy Kimmel,
Yeah.
where it's like, it's a very narrow lane. And I don't know why. I was like, Conan is not for me.
Yeah.
He is for like the finance bros
Oh,
who
it feels like
like,
he's a little zany, kind of.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, and so
Mhm.
I very much was like that. And so in listening to the podcast, I have gotten to realize that he is very self-aware,
Yeah.
that this is like an intentionally crafted character, that
Mm.
he is very smart. Because like for people who don't know, it's like we got Jimmy Kimmel from The Man Show. It's
Right.
like this is a man who got famous off of a show where the opening was women bouncing on a trampoline in slow motion. And now it's like, thanks to the world of like, because most people don't realize it's like with late night, they have teams of writers and all this stuff. So like,
Mhm.
I never look at Kimmel and go like, oh my God, he's so smart. I'm like,
Right.
oh, Kimmel's crafted a great team and he's a very charming man who delivers their words well.
Yes. Yes.
And so like when it comes to Conan now, I'm like, oh, he's a very self-aware, clever man who probably could write some good stuff
Yes.
and knows how to put a good team together. So I genuinely love the way he hosts. I love that kind of Billy Crystal style opening monologue where it's like, hey, I'm going to insert myself in the projects from this year. I think that's really cute and really clever, and I just will never not enjoy it.
I know. I do love those. And even the way he was able to run onto the stage from it. It also was reminding me somewhat of the Grammy. It was the Grammys when Eminem did that, like all of the Slim Shadys appeared.
I was sold on it when he was in K-pop Demon Hunters because
Oh yes.
I thought he was just gonna like run in as a human in this
Yeah.
cartoon world, and for some reason I don't know why that like little attention to detail just made me so like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, Conan, like
Yes.
that's really sweet that like you obviously worked with Sony Animation to insert yourself in this
Yeah.
in a way that still respected like what y'all made.
Totally.
So yeah, it was just really cute.
And then having Amy Madigan win for that character, I mean, I wanted it to be her or Wound Me. Like, obviously, it would have been great, but I was okay with her winning too.
So as someone who is a big old scaredy cat, I've
Mhm.
not seen Weapons. I am fully aware of Weapons. I am aware of the themes in Weapons. It is one of those movies that I need on streaming in the middle of the day. I
Yeah.
have to watch it. I have to be able to pause it. I know people who've listened to me on this pod before know that I hate second screen viewing, but when it comes to horror movies, I need to be able to have my
Yes.
phone out to keep me distracted when it
Mhm.
gets too spooky ooky.
Yes.
I don't like it. It's too much. I have to look down and be like, oh my
Remind
God, I'm
yourself
playing
it's
chess on my phone. And then I
Mhm.
like look up after the jump scare happens and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay. But from like what I know of Weapons, I
Mhm.
love the commentary around like,
Mhm.
things happening to children. And it's like,
Yes.
at what point do we start to pay attention?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I really was on my Issa Rae. I was like, I'm rooting for everybody black, aka
Yeah.
Sinners. And then it was kind of like, then my second priority became, I just didn't want Timothée Chalamet to have a
Me
good night.
too.
And I
I
feel
was the
so
same.
bad that I really was like actively rooting against him.
Oh yeah.
And then the next after that
And to
was,
be fair, the movie was not great either. So like,
yeah.
it's also like a fair thing to not want it to win stuff.
Exactly. And it wasn't even so much that I'm like, oh my God, I hate what he said about like opera. I think
No.
I very much am like, and somebody like put it the best way. Like he is very much having an ego death. He is fighting his ego death
Mm,
so tooth and nail because I do believe and I fully support that monologue he gave at the Actors Awards,
yeah.
SAG Awards, like a couple years ago,
Last
where he was like,
year.
I want to, yeah, last year, where he was like, I want to be one of the greats.
I
I want to be
know.
remembered. And I was like, I think that's so baller. I think
I
there's
thought
something
so too,
so,
because it was like try hard, like admit
yeah,
that you're working hard or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that. Like, I love
Hmm.
the idea of somebody being like, one, I'm going to call my shot, but two, I'm going to make it very clear of like, I'm about to put the work in to be
Hmm.
deserving of
Hmm.
this kind of space in this acting Mount Rushmore. Love that. Live for it. Iconic.
Yes, I
Where
liked it.
he
It made me like
lost
him a
me,
little bit
exactly.
as a person.
And where he lost me was the entire press run of Marty Supreme made no sense to me. I don't understand why we're rapping. I
Mm-mm.
don't know why we're on Hot 97. I
Mm-mm.
don't know why we have a black scent. I don't know why like, I don't
Orange
understand what any of this
sweatsuit.
press run, yeah, that seemed to be so largely built on,
Mm,
like, it was almost like he was positioning this movie as though Marty Supreme was about like a young kid who tried to break into the hip hop industry. And I was like, but that's
yeah,
not what this is. This is about a dude trying to make a name for himself as a ping pong player.
at the cost of everyone else in his
Yes.
life.
And I'm with Nathan Lane. If you think people don't care about the ballet and the opera, I have
Hmm.
news for you, buddy. They definitely don't care about the sport of ping pong. So
No.
it's like, I just, and so truly, and I don't think people understand, and I think we talked about this a little bit, like Oscar campaign season
Mm,
is like political campaigning.
right.
We're talking billboards everywhere,
Hmm.
commercials, ads taken out in the entertainment trades. We're, geotagged for your consideration, talkbacks, town
Hmm.
halls. Like it is a political campaign. And so
Yes.
truly, when I knew, and also I already know because of institutional knowledge, having worked in entertainment, pretty much any movie coming out between October and December and Christmas Day is vying for a look for award season.
Hmm.
So the moment I knew there was a movie called Marty Supreme coming out like a week before Christmas, starring Timothée Chalamet, directed
Right.
by a Safdie brother, I was like, oh, this is
Oscar bait.
prestige bait. Yeah, this
Yes.
is awards bait. Got it. It's got
Hmm.
Gwyneth Paltrow. It's got everything you need to signal we're going for the award season.
Yeah.
So then I could not figure out if this was the start of the campaign,
Yeah.
why, and what it had to do with anything.
I
And
know.
that was where he lost me.
Yeah.
It was not his comments about ballet and opera. It was
No, no, no,
truly,
no. That just
sir.
confirmed some things we thought about
Yeah,
him already.
it really was. It was like, sir, why are we white vacationing
Yep.
or black vacationing to promote
And his mom and
this
sister
movie?
are ballerinas.
And yeah, that was a separate thing where I'm like, buddy, you literally went to LaGuardia High School. The school of fame is based off of. Like, you lived in housing that was basically subsidized by your mother being an artist
Hmm.
at the Met. Like, what
Yeah.
are,
I
my
saw
friend,
someone pointing out, she was like, guys, it's really simple. Some really hot ballerina dumped him, okay? Because they
truly,
were pointing out he went to school with them. Someone hurt him.
yeah. And it was true. It's really one of those things. And I talked about this on TikTok. It's like, I had a
Mhm.
boss at Paramount who really was a believer in, if you work in this world of storytelling, you study all story. And so my thing
Yeah.
to Timothée Chalamet is like, you are in the world of being a storyteller. You
Yes.
should be studying every storyteller. You should be
Hmm.
studying how ballerinas physically tell the story. You should be
Hmm.
studying how opera singers use their voice. It's like, to me, it was just such a
Yes.
lazy take
Yep.
to not see the value in other storytellers'
Hmm.
methods of telling stories. And so, like, that's why I loved, like, Scorsese and Spielberg and all these people doing, because again, it's for your consideration season. So if people are wondering why there seemed like there was such an abundance of people talking about Timothée Chalamet and shitting on him, it's because literally
Hmm.
directors, actors, not even associated with projects, are out on the campaign trail on
Hmm.
behalf of their other writers, directors,
Yeah.
actors. And so it's like, these men are out here doing all these talkbacks in FYP season and of course in FYC season, and that's why of course now you have Martin Scorsese's thoughts on Timothée Chalamet and like
Yes.
all these people. It's just because the timing was perfect
Mm-hmm.
for him to say something so dumb and all of these very smart people to be out in the world talking about film.
Yeah. And I don't think that's what cost him his Oscar either, to be fair.
No.
Like, it's hilarious and it was very fun watching
Yeah.
Misty Copeland dance right in front of him.
Yeah.
But I don't
But
think it
like,
had
and that's
anything
the
to do
thing
with,
where it's like, I
yeah.
think like that was a perfect example. That performance was one where people were like, oh my God, I love how sinners clap back. And it's like, no, they didn't.
Mm-mm.
I knew from the second the juke joint scene started and I
Mm-hmm.
saw a woman in a red ballet outfit, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, that's Misty Copeland, a nod to Misty Copeland and the Firebird.
Yeah.
And because it was so quick, I had a brief moment where I was like, oh, I wish they could have gotten Misty. And then I said, you know what? Misty is too famous and too important
Yeah.
to come to work for a 30-second cameo
Yeah.
in a movie where we wouldn't even fully know if it was her. I was
Yeah.
like, this probably would have changed the whole layout of the scene. They would have had to spend more time on her, all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So when it was announced that they were doing a performance and
Mm-hmm.
they said, and Misty Copeland is coming, I was like, oh, we're finally honoring
Yeah.
like the Supreme,
Mm-hmm.
who is like, in my opinion, is a griot. It's like when
Yeah.
you think about it, it's like it is Misty moving through Alvin Ailey Dance to American Ballet Theater. It's doing Judith Jamison's Revelations and, you know, doing Swan Lake, or it's her doing, you know, Dance Theater of Harlem, which is where I saw her, was Dance Theater of Harlem's version of
Mm-hmm.
The Firebird versus American Ballet Theater, which I've also seen her do that version as well. So it was like,
I didn't even
it
know
was
there were
just that part was
differences.
cool, but it was just really funny to me. Again, it felt like the theme of the night was,
Yes.
is blackness centering whiteness? Because the
Mm-hmm.
fact that people were like, oh my God, they totally did that to stick it to Timmy. And it was like, again, that is the presumed assumption that the focus was clapping back at this white dude
I agree.
rather than fully honoring and bringing together the people who truly inspired that scene.
Exactly. That was the point of the scene, was like
Yeah.
all the different kinds of
Yeah.
artwork and related to music
Yeah.
obviously too, but just all the different kinds of artwork that has been created by
Yeah.
Black people. And we had Asian and Native American in the movie. I
Yeah, in the
I think
movie,
it
and they
was
had it on
what
stage
still
too. I don't know if
represented.
you noticed,
Yeah.
they had the woman who did like the draper, like she had the drapey sleeve dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did get a good old tee hee hee out of Jack O'Connell coming, and the fact that he still couldn't get on stage, like
Yes.
that they walked up and he was like, "Can we go?" And they were like,
That was
"No."
so
And I
smart.
love that he wore his vampire teeth.
That's what I was gonna bring up too.
I love it so much.
Oh, that was
Also,
so cool.
but this thing I did love is I don't even think this was intentional, but it just visually was brilliant.
Yeah.
Is that they came from stage right, and if people paid attention, stage right was the side of the stage that Kylie and Timmy were sitting on.
Ooh.
So the vampires were standing in the aisle next to, I don't know if people even caught this. They were literally standing, and you can see Kylie Jenner in the background of the shot, and there's just something so, again, it's like, I'm like, whether or not it's intentional, but I'm like, it's Ryan Coogler. Like
Yeah, I know.
he saw the seat layouts when they were blocking the performance. I'm like, there was just something so
You
satisfying
would
about
think
like
so.
one of the children of the queen culture vultures
Oh.
being in the background of this shot of these vampires that people have been misinterpreting all season. Because I love the discourse where people are like, Remick wasn't racist, and I'm like, this is why I say I love this movie,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like, that's the problem, is
I
people
know.
think racism is just the slur.
Yes.
And I'm like, what they miss, and I still tee hee hee about it, is that scene when Homegirl goes, once we kill all of y'all, we can be happy. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh
Mm-hmm.
my God. And so I thought like the layout of that performance was spectacular.
Fantastic.
And I just, yeah,
Do
it
you
is
think
one
it'll
of
go
those
to
movies.
Broadway?
That's the thing, is like now people are like, we want
Mm-hmm.
Sinners on Broadway. And like my thing about Sinners on Broadway, and I've seen some incredible castings where people
Yeah.
are like, I want Leslie Odom Jr. and Joshua Henry to play Smoke and Stack. Like, I'm like, there are some incredible people that
Yeah.
could pull this off. I also, though, am like, I don't know. It's like part of me, I want it to get that Color Purple moment where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
Color Purple, the movie, brilliant.
Was the movie first or the?
Movie was
Okay,
first.
cool.
Beautiful, brilliant. Steven Spielberg
I have to.
creates
I
a
have to read
world.
this.
This is the thing. It's like it's beautifully done.
Okay, good.
When you watch it, you're like, "Holy cow, this is gorgeous."
Yeah.
And then fast forward years later, and yes, there was an adaptation done with Fantasia Barrino, all this stuff, but
Mm.
when you fast forward to the version I got to witness with Cynthia, all of a
Oh yeah.
sudden that very great movie became exponentially better. So for
Mm.
me, Sinners is like that, where I'm like,
Mm.
I only want it on stage if the stage
Yeah.
adaptation expands it into an even more kind of like, holy shit, this is incredible.
Right.
Because that's the Color Purple on stage. It's a damn good generational film. Like it's got
Yeah.
some of the best quotes, and my mom and I still do the "you show is ugly" and all that. Like everything you done to me gonna come back to you. Everything is iconic.
Yeah.
And then you sit in a theater, and they build a song around "All's My Life I Had to Fight," and you're like, oh my god, this song
Yeah.
rises to the occasion of how phenomenal that line is. Or you're like,
Mm-hmm.
or the introduction of Suge Avery right comes, it matches how well done it's done
Yeah.
in the movie. And so like that's my thing is like I want Sinners on Broadway,
Okay.
but I only want it that if like we can truly build a song around like
All of it.
yeah, like Delta Slim's monologue. Or I only
Yes.
want it if we can build a song around that opening and we're flashing back between Sammy the night before and the day. Like I want it if
Yeah.
like truly people are like we're going to put everything behind this to
Mm-hmm.
make this like visually stunning, like the music be incredible.
Yeah.
Now I'm like if Warner Brothers is just going, "Oh my god, people love Sinners. Let's adapt it." Please don't give it to me. I don't
Right.
want it.
Right. Yeah. That's what
But
I was
like
wondering. I
yeah.
don't know enough about Broadway, so I was like, I will
Oh
ask
my god.
MacKenzie.
I'm a musical theater nerd, you
Mm-hmm.
know that. I'm like right now I'm on a one person campaign to get Ryan Coogler to adapt Hades Town.
Ooh.
I've put it out into the internet and I'm
Mm-hmm.
just going to keep talking about it until
Yes.
it happens.
Yes. I mean, I think you can make it happen.
Listen, because at the end,
Anyone
because
can.
you'd also appreciate it. It's like for Ryan Coogler, it's a mod. This is I'm about to momentary tangent. It's a modern interpretation of the story of Persephone
Oh,
and Hades,
yep.
but it's told through like jazz, like New
Mm.
Orleans style jazz and Zydeco music.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So like if anybody could figure out this kind of like swamp low country vibe and
Yeah.
feel to a retelling of a Greek mythology story, I'm like,
Yes.
it's Ryan Coogler.
Oh,
And I will not stop until I get Ryan Coogler's Hades down.
yes. I'm obsessed with the retellings. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like there are more happening again right now, and I'm like,
Yeah.
give me them all. I have actually
Yeah.
I Medusa's right here with its beautiful
Yeah.
sprayed edges. But I also saw there's a Cleopatra fiction retelling that just
Oh.
came out, and I'm like, okay, I need to listen to that too.
Yeah.
I love
This
what you
is
can do with retellings.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, the night was oh, I mean, I did spend a lot of time crying about K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yes,
That was embarrassing. I was really happy for
I'm
them.
a crier over here, so
See, so I fell in love with K-pop Demon
yes,
Hunters first listen. I did
yeah,
not want to listen. I did not want to watch it. I'm very anti-sincere cartoons, and I
yeah,
know some people are going to be surprised as a Disney adult. People are going to be like, you don't like sincere cartoon? No, I hate them. Like I will not watch like Studio Ghibli films. I get really weird about cartoons
mm-hmm.
in the sense of like I do. This is such a dumb rule I have. If the movie could be done with humans, I don't want to see it in
Mm,
cartoon.
I get that.
So like you can give me a Pixar movie because I can't imagine people dressed as water or fire
Right,
or I don't want
emotions.
to see practical versions of cars. It's like
Mm-hmm.
and also if people are like you hate sincere cartoons, I like a Pixar cartoon because I think I'm going to see a silly movie
Mm-hmm.
and then midway through they like hit
Sneak
me
it in.
with like, "Oh, you thought you were watching a movie about bugs? It's about class warfare." And I'm like, "What?
Yes,
Whoa,
yes.
God, why?" So I was very anti K-pop Demon Hunters. And I was like, ugh, I don't want to watch it. And my boyfriend,
Oh,
my
really?
boyfriend waited until I had, I mean, I can say that on this show. I had had an edible and
Yes.
he was like, what do you want to watch? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know what I want to watch. And he was like, hey, I'm going to put on K-pop Demon Hunters. And I was like,
I
ugh.
didn't know he put it on. Okay.
I was like, I don't want to watch this. It started and I was kind of like, this is lame. And then the first song began and I was like, this might be the greatest rapping I've ever heard in my life. This is the
Yeah.
greatest movie I've ever been privy to.
Yeah.
So I immediately fell in love with the whole thing. I like my
Mhm.
whole personality became like which member of Huntrix was my bias. I
Mhm.
have like a friend who is this is such a name drop. She's Lizzo's older sister and she's
Wow.
like super involved in K-pop. So I'm like messaging Vanessa being like, I need to know everything I need to know about K-pop. Who
Oh, that's
sounds like
cool.
Huntrix? Who sounds like Saja Boys? Like I love all the I was obsessed.
Yeah.
So in my last job, we had interviewed a K-pop group and I like got on the call. This is like the week after the movie had happened.
Oh,
I was like,
wow.
guys, I've just seen what I think is going to be the biggest movie of the year.
Mhm.
And we have like some content with K-pop stars. We really need to prioritize it. My whole team, I'm not kidding you. Everybody at the company was like, let's K-pop Demon Hunters. And
What?
I was like, you're all about to see it's the biggest movie in the planet.
Yes.
And so my tears last night, one, because I'm like, I knew it. I knew this was going to be the biggest movie ever. But I'm deeply in love with the story of the women who sang. So all of
Mhm.
them are like the main one who wrote all the music, EJ. People
Mhm.
are probably right now being like, man, why are we deep diving into this?
That's
But
what
I
we do
don't care.
here.
You guys are going to hear this story. So EJ is a reject of the K-pop Academy. So like
Okay.
if people ever watch the Cat's Eye show, like music there is not just there's a label. It's like the label has like an academy, they train you, it's years of training and then they
Okay.
decide. It's basically making the band
Right, that's what
as
I'm
your
thinking.
everyday life.
Okay.
And so this woman EJ was rejected from the K-pop Academy because I believe they were like you're too tall and you're too old to be a
Oh my
K-pop star.
god. She's
And
beautiful.
right? But she was ultimately, she never got to make her debut, and she
Mhm.
instead goes on to become a songwriter in the K pop space and is
Mhm.
kind of like, maybe, it's kind of like, this is as far as it'll go for me. So I was having a very like emotional manifestation moment where I was like, this is so beautiful
Yes.
that this woman thought, like, more so because I was like, oh, how beautiful that this is such a lesson in like gratitude for where you are. That like she could
Mhm.
have been angry and resentful and been like, oh my God, I never, but instead she was like, I'm going to be this is obviously where my steps have been ordered is
Mm.
to be this songwriter and I'm going to be the best damn songwriter they
Yes.
can find for this. And so then she said she gets approached about an untitled K-pop movie
Mm.
for like some for Sony and they're like we need songs, we need this and she was like and I gave it my best. She was like I demoed every song, I wrote it
Ah,
and she was like and then they were like okay, we can't find people who can sing it like what we want. So like, do you want to be the person that sings it? And she's kind of
ah.
like, okay. And now here we are that like she really was leaning into her gratitude and like really and not acceptance in the sense of like let this dream die, but kind of like acceptance in this
Pivoting.
level yeah of like okay, I'm gonna bring the same level of like joy and dedication and thought to this. And I'm like, now look at her,
Mhm.
she's got Grammys, she's got a damn Oscar. I'm like, if they
Yeah.
take it to Broadway, it probably will win a Tony.
True.
I'm like, so then Homegirl, all she's got to do is come up with like a cute made for TV movie. And she's sad and she's done.
Yes.
Like, and it
I
just made me so excited because I'm like, all three of them are like these women that couldn't find a place or a voice for themselves, like in the traditional system.
yes.
And they all said yes to a seemingly weird
Random.
thing.
Yeah.
And now look at them.
Oh, that makes me
The
so
same thing with
happy.
like the voice actors is they talked about that they were like the guy who plays the main dude, he's another one where he was gonna make his debut and they were like you're too tall to be a K-pop star
Crazy.
because they were like he's too tall to put in any groups.
Oh,
And now here this man is literally the only thing I know in
yes.
K-pop. I'm
Yes.
like my whole knowledge is BTS. It's my whole knowledge is
Mhm.
Le Seraphim, BTS, Twice because they sing on the K-pop Demon Hunters album,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then all three of the Saja girl of the Huntrix ladies, and
Yes.
that's it. I'm like, outside of that, everybody feel free to wow me
Right.
because I don't know who anyone is.
Yes. Yeah,
But
it's
yeah, it just
so
made
that
me very
example of like stupid system rules.
yeah.
And like
And it
now
just
they missed out on this talent.
and it just also warms my heart because to me, Sinners and K-pop Demon Hunters are like spiritual
Yes.
siblings where they're both like movies that are about like, hey, be your authentic self, stand 10 toes down in what your thing is, and it
Hmm.
will save you,
Yeah.
it will protect you, and it will like light the way for other people to follow.
Yes.
And it's like, yeah, and I love that the two most undeniably successful films of the season were two movies that really were like, oh no, we're not just for our cultures. We are so definitively
Hmm.
for the culture that you might have to Google stuff
Yes.
while you're watching if you're not part of the culture. Because like
Yes.
there's a moment where Rumi meets like her love interest,
Mm.
and I had to Google that like the song they played is like a quintessential K-drama
Ah,
song that they play when two characters
like
meet. Yeah,
Kiss Me or whatever that song is that plays in
exactly. But
rom-coms.
like the
Yeah.
idea that that movie is so definitively made for
Hmm.
Korean people
Hmm.
that it's like, hey, if you don't know what a bias is,
Yeah.
if you don't know what they're talking about when they're like, Mira's the visual of the group, like if you don't get these, Google,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to look it up. Same thing with Sinners. It's
Fun.
like if you're watching it and you're like, I don't understand who that man is who's doing the really fast feet with the scary witch doctor mask. Look it up.
Yes. I know.
We
I
will not be
do.
explaining anything to, and I love art like that. That,
Yes, I do
and
too.
we've talked about that. It's like that is so deeply rooted in it is made for me and my people
Hmm.
that it's like you're gonna have to look it up. Like I loved even in Bury Your Gaze, like the
Hmm.
running joke about asexuality
Yes.
to a point that I had to be like, is this a huge joke amongst like LGBTQIA plus people? And then I was like, and then in that deep dive, I was like, oh, so this is like a barn burner of a
Yes.
joke.
Yes.
Like this is the move that like this would be the moment if I was sitting in a theater full of gay people
Yes.
watching this as a movie that they'd be like ah and
Uh-huh.
laughing, and this would be
Always
like
forget the asexual.
yeah, I was like, this would be the line that would shut it down. The
Yeah.
same as for me, the amount of giggles I got out of y'all clan, sir.
It's
Not
amazing.
because I'm like, oh, wow, Rimmick proved he's not racist. I'm like, that is so definitively black that eventually it would just be like, hey, okay, you are talking in riddles.
Hmm.
Are you part of the clan? Yes or
Hmm.
no? Just answer the question.
Yeah.
So so
Well,
we can figure out what we're
and you're
dealing with
probably used to
here.
people being proud to say yes.
Yeah.
So you're like, I'm just
So
gonna
you're like,
ask.
yeah, you're like, I'm just gonna ask. Or when Ryan was like, I watched an interview where Ryan was like, yeah, I was like, Smoke is absolutely the kind of guy that would just straight up ask
Yes.
this.
Yeah.
He was like, there is no subtlety involved
Hmm.
for him. He was like, he would just be like, I'm just gonna ask.
Yes.
Y'all clan, what's
I
going
know.
on? Just
And I
tell it
saw
to me
that he
plain.
had it written in the notes that it was like obviously offended.
Yeah. No, it was one of those nights where it was like, yes, there were things
Hmm.
like I could rage out for 1,000 years about Sean Penn
I
winning
know.
supporting actor.
Not
And I
even
don't
being
think people
there.
and I don't even think people understand. Yeah. And I
There's
need people to
layers.
understand the what you are told, especially as a black artist, of
Mm.
how much you have to work and campaign and keep your foot on the gas and don't let up if you want to even be noticed by the Academy, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then for Sean Penn, who did not attend a single award
Oh, you
all
didn't see
year,
any of them.
he didn't go to he didn't try, he didn't campaign, he did nothing.
I didn't realize he didn't even go to the others.
And literally won the big, like, that's the part where I'm like, well, that's frustrating because like I always think back to Forrest Whitaker's win. He
Hmm.
won for Last King of Scotland, I think it was.
Hmm.
And if I remember correctly, it was like pretty much Colin Firth and pretty much all the white actors that were
Yeah.
in that movie were like, Forrest Whitaker did such a good job. It's the dude who plays, I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. He's in that Beast movie, and he plays Professor Xavier in the new versions of the X-Men.
Oh,
He's like really hot and he's British.
it's not
Not British, he's
James.
Scottish.
What is his name?
His name is James something. Right, again, right now somebody is screaming
I
the
know. They're
last
like,
name.
we know who it is. James
They're like, I know.
McAvoy.
Yeah, James McAvoy.
There we go.
James McAvoy talked about he will never do another for your consideration campaign because he said they were all so committed to Forrest Whitaker winning that Oscar that they campaigned so hard on his behalf, and they talked about how exhausted they were doing it, and that when he finally won the Oscar they were like, okay, this was all worth it. So like to see Sean Penn not do any of it, it was kind of like, wow, Forrest Whitaker had to campaign for himself. His cast had to campaign for him. All of that for him to be what, number 4
Yeah.
to ever win the Oscar in that category. And it's like, okay, buddy, like,
Yeah. Yeah,
here we go.
I have not paid much attention to Sean Penn in my lifetime either. Like, I don't know if I could have told you another movie he had been in. Like, I know he has, but all of that to say, I didn't know until recently that like he's been convicted as an abuser as well,
Oh,
which
yeah.
I mean doesn't surprise me. It seems to be a trend in old white
Yeah.
male man Hollywood. But so that was what was dawning on me too, as I'm like, wait, because what I told Tyler, he hadn't seen many of these movies. Most of these he's only seen
We don't blame
Sinners.
him.
Like I went to most of the ones alone actually that were it for consideration.
Yeah.
And so when that happened, I was like he was repulsive. I was like the
Yeah.
character was disgusting. It like every time he was on the screen I was grossed out, and I was like, but
Yeah.
then like I also learned that like he might not have even been acting for that to have been the case.
And I think what I was grossed out with the role, and I thought my friend Tracy nailed this on the Vibe Check
Mm.
podcast really well, because I initially too was like, I hate the characterization of like Tiana Taylor. I hate
know.
I hate the relationship between Sean Penn's character and hers. And then I was like, oh, am I being a prude? And then Tracy nailed this on Vibe Check where she was like, no, Sinners has sex. It has a
Yes.
lot of sex. It has a
Mhm.
lot of women taking agency and ownership over their bodies in relationship to sex.
Mhm.
It was like the reason the Tiana Taylor character feels so gross is because she's not a person.
Mhm.
And it felt like Sean Penn's character is a person.
Ah, you're right. Yeah.
And it
Mhm.
felt like she was just a vehicle to move he and Leo's story along. And I
Correct.
think what I found really gross about his character, it's basically my main overview complaint about One Battle After Another, which is the whole movie feels like the kind of movie a well-meaning white person makes to prove that they get
Get it.
it. So they're like, I get the struggle you guys are against. Look at these scary white men who meet in a room secretly. And it's like, okay. But we don't, but it's like, and that is that movie coupled with, I saw a Threads post where the person, it was like a white guy. He was like, I feel like the scene at the end with the Klan is tacked on. He was like, it would have been better placed in the middle of the night, having them come by, and then like the black people and the vampires team up. And I was like, no, because that character's, that layout of the movie to me is One Battle After Another. It
Mm.
is these like gonzo over the top versions of bad white people.
Yeah.
Because I look at the Sean Penn character and I'm like, that is absolutely,
It
when
feels
white people think of a
cartoonish.
racist, they think of Sean Penn's character.
Right.
Saying the N word, doing repugnant things,
Being
and
like
then like secretly
incredibly
loving.
attracted to her, but
Yeah, and
thinking
then
less of
secretly,
her.
right? It's like it's the same caricature we make of a Republican where it's like they're
Right.
they're super buttoned up, they're super this, and then they're on Grindr on their phone. And I'm
Yes.
like, that's the problem. It's not as big and obvious as
Mhm.
that all the time.
Mhm.
It is small and insidious. It's
Yes.
tiny. It's Mary thinking that she has the ability to know how to talk to the people outside when Annie has just told her, don't go out there. It's the subtlety of we're doing something. It's the ability to let Remick into your house but keep the Native Americans out.
Mhm. I'm trying to remember what the quote is because this is very similar to it, whose quote is it about fascism that talks about how it's not the
Oh,
insidious
yeah.
part of fascism is not the evil people, it's the good, quote unquote, good people who stand by and just
Yes.
watch it
And that's why
happen.
I found one battle after another to be very exhausting,
Yeah,
because there was no fully formed characterization
you're right. Yeah,
outside of the evil people.
right. Yes,
That was your
because it
fully
happened
formed.
so quickly with Tiana.
Yeah,
Like there was a part of me that I was like, I resonate with like a woman who's like, I'm not pregnant. Like even some of that. Like I was like, I could kind
exactly.
of get that, but we're not learning why she felt that way. And
Exactly. Like, what was the inciting incident? It's like,
yeah.
oh no, Perfidia Beverly Hills just woke up and is ready. Got to deal with the fun of now. I got to put my phone on do not disturb. Um, but it's like that's the part that always gets me, is that there is this major lack of, yeah, of just an
You're right.
ability
It's like
to
because
be.
if we only cartoonize it, it's what helps people not catch it in the
Exactly. And
system.
it's like it's that chaos of like Leo jumping off a building 60, 6 stories up and all the, it's like you and I have talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
I thought One Battle After Another
I did
was
too.
a parody
I did
of
too.
well-meaning white people
And
trying to be activists.
And I made a post after I saw it and tagged a bunch of wonderful Black and Native American authors. And if you were one of them, I'm sorry, I did not know enough yet. But your stories would have been better anyway for people to
Yeah, but
consume.
that's what I'm saying is like I
Yeah.
immediately was like, "Oh, this must be a parody
Yes.
of like when you talk to like most white folks who go to
Yes.
it's like a perfect example.
And
It's like
how useless Leo's character was.
yes,
Like I thought that
I
was
I
like
really thought, oh, we are spoofing and this is commentary on the people
yes.
who are like I immediately think about when it was like we're doing a general strike and how you had people online being like, I didn't have enough notice for the strike. Let's
I
instead do a
no.
march. We'll do a protest in March. And I was like, oh, y'all want 6 weeks lead
Convenience.
time to prepare for a protest? Okay, okay.
Hmm.
I thought that's who this movie was for.
Yes.
When I discovered that this was a dead honest, sincere film, I said, oh no,
That's
I
exactly
fear,
what I said.
I fear I now may need to revise
I know.
my initial assessment of
Yes.
this movie
Yes.
and of Paul Thomas Anderson. Because again, when I hear that Regina Hall, a comedian, is in
No.
the movie,
I
when
know.
I hear that Tiana Taylor, who
Yes.
is like, I immediately was like, oh, we're doing like this is satire. I was like,
Yes.
oh, we are doing a Percival Everett novel
That's exactly what I thought it was.
as a film where
Yes.
like I thought we were doing like a reverse James. Like you
Yes.
know how James starts with
Yes.
like slave speak and you're kind of like, "Uh-oh, how long are we
Uh-huh.
going to do this?" And then the turn is like, "Surprise, we just
Uh-huh.
talk like this to make white people feel comfortable." I thought when
Mhm.
that sucker started and Perfidia was like, "I'm Perfidia Beverly Hills."
Same.
And all this like she was giving real I'm Foxy Cleopatra and I'm a
Mhm.
whole lot of woman. So I was like, "Oh, we're doing James."
Yeah.
And
And I
then when
thought it was gonna
Sean
be
Penn is
completely
like,
different behind closed doors.
yeah, and then when
Yeah.
Sean Penn is like, I was reversed raped, I'm like, oh, we're doing.
That because like that line to me is very insightful,
So
but
I'm
in a different context. Like
so
you're
I'm like, ah ha ha ha, we're doing James.
I thought so too.
And then I started to dig into every
And I never
interview and
loved it. I
everything.
don't think you ever loved it either. Like I wasn't like this was the best thing, and I was like this should have been shorter, but like I did
But I
think
was
that
like,
it
oh,
had
this is
some
a good piece. Yeah, I was
satirical
like, but for the
merit.
most part, this is a good piece of
Yes.
social commentary satire. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
right, congrats. And then I found out that PTA was dead serious. And I said, oh, okay, so if we're doing sincerity versus sincerity,
Mhm.
it's sinners all day, every day.
Yeah.
Because to the point of that person that was like, no, it should have been the black people and the vampires versus the Klan. No, because that's the point of the movie. It is
Mhm.
what my sweet boyfriend said to me when we left, which was, oh my God, I know how to fight vampires. I'm realizing I would not have known what to do with the Klan
Right.
the next morning. Because what do you
100%.
mean? And I was like, that's the movie.
Mhm.
Is yes, the supernatural, the fantastical, the otherworldly could happen, but there are still horrors to be dealt with when the sun comes up.
Yes.
And so
Like,
like
I don't
for
think the
that
vampires would have
reason,
fought with them either, by the way.
so for that reason, I was very like, ugh, when they're
Yeah.
like best director and best movie, and it's like it all was very like the same year as when it was like Green Book versus Black Klansman and Black
Mhm.
Panther. You're
Yeah.
like, we could award the actual stories,
Yes.
or we could award this made up thing. And for people who don't know, and or this is your first time hearing me on here, Green Book, as many of you know, is the story of this white man that was a chauffeur for this black man. Well, for those of y'all that don't know me, your girl has a father who technically has an EGOT because of
Yeah,
his
some
place,
credibility.
some credibility, and also my dad is friends with the family of the gentleman that was portrayed by Mahershala Ali. And my favorite thing in the world was when they called my dad to say, how do we stop this? He only knew this man for a day.
One day? Oh, Lord have
He
mercy.
barely remembered and spoke to him. How
No.
has this family built a whole story that he was this like advisor, like trusted confidant person that
Oh
taught
my
him how to
God.
live? So,
Was the piano player, is he also gay or not? Was that something? I mean,
yes,
not
that is
that.
true. But the
Okay.
issue was like the relationship they
I was
had.
just wondering how far they were
No, the
adding to the
relationship they
white
had,
savior dunk.
non-existent. Like the
Yeah.
whole and so like that's why for me that year was a perfect example of like, here are
Hmm.
two people telling the real, here's Black Panther, Afrofuturism, here's Black
Right.
Klansman, a true story about a black person that infiltrated the Klan,
Hmm.
and both lose to a fantasy tale of black and white solidarity that never happened.
Inspired by a true
And so
story.
then this year, it felt very like a real legitimate piece of black storytelling
Yes.
versus a like trauma porn fantasy
Hmm.
of black struggle as it exists.
And it matters who it's coming from is like that
Exactly.
other point, because it's like I try to make sure I'm not only reading like black horror
Yeah.
basically, but it works when it's still like Tananarive and Octavia
Yeah.
Butler, I think, are like my top faves, is what I
Yeah. They're
finally
the goats.
realized. Um, but it's like there are other there anyway, my real point being, but if a white woman wrote the Reformatory, one, it probably wouldn't be the Reformatory as it is, but
Yeah.
like that would it's just not the same. I That's a whole conversation that I don't even know how creatives completely approach it, because well, we were talking about Ludwig a little bit too, where
Yeah.
I've even heard Ryan Coogler talk about like there's a difference between appreciation for art and appropriation of art, and it seems like
Yes.
Ludwig is like across culturally
He really
very
does. Yeah.
appreciative. And
Yeah.
so it's like obviously there's somewhat room for creatives to work outside of their lived experience, but like I don't know how to, I don't even know how to have a conversation about that sometimes.
Yeah.
Is like, what do you do? Like, should a white
Yeah.
person be telling certain
and
stories?
and I think and I think that's the interesting part about One Battle After Another is like, I think if
Hmm.
PTA had given us more and even had more commentary on like Leo, who thinks he's this great
Right.
revolutionary, but in reality like hasn't really done anything outside of have a kid with this woman,
Yeah.
or like for us to dig into Sean Penn's character where it's like, where did this fetishization come from?
Hmm.
How is he able to square off like his incredibly racist views with the fact that he prefers and
Yes.
likes sleeping with black women?
Yeah.
It's like there was so much there where I'm like,
Hmm.
you didn't have to tell Perfidia's story. You didn't
Hmm.
have to tell Jungle Pussy's story. You didn't have to dig into Chase and Infinity's story.
Hmm.
You could have literally used your lived experience as a white man with
Yeah.
a biracial black wife,
Right.
and you could have dug into how, because I'm watching it with my partner, like
Yeah.
the way people will talk to him until then he like will reveal like, my dog's name is Beyonce, and then all of a sudden you can tell the person's like, uh-oh, I thought I was talking to a fellow brother, did
Uh-huh.
not know that you are a sympathizer for the other side. Like we had there was a situation that happened downtown where we live, and one
Hmm.
of his coworkers in checking on him said, "Oh my god, did you see these animals attached to your building?" We both thought this person meant actual animals.
Dogs. Oh
Like, yeah,
no.
like a coyote was downtown.
Yeah,
When
especially
he
in LA.
finally sent the video of what he was talking about, it was a group of black kids during a street takeover. But to my point of what PTA could have played with is that moment of like, Leo could have had that same moment my boyfriend had, which is, oh my God, this person thought I was a safe place to say this really fucked up thing
Yes.
in front of.
Yes.
Huh. And so in that moment when he was really upset, I was like, hey, that's your superpower. Like,
Yeah.
you get to walk, like, very Black Klansman-y. I'm like, you get to walk into this room
Mm-hmm.
and you get to hear the things that people wouldn't say to me, wouldn't say
Mm-hmm.
in polite, like, you get to come back. You are the spy on the inside.
Yes.
You know and hear things that I will never be privy to.
Mm-mm.
People will never say these things in front of me
Right.
because they are, to what I thought the movie was getting at, well-meaning white people. They would never
Exactly.
say to a black woman, they would never call a group of black kids like a group of animals
Yeah.
into my face.
No.
And so like that I wanted to see
Mm-hmm.
Paul Thomas Anderson play with, is like, okay, then fine. If you're going to like center the story around these people, then I want to see like some of the misinformation Sean Penn's character gets.
Yeah.
How he is hearing about black women that makes him think this is totally acceptable.
I know.
You
Yeah.
know, it's like, I'm curious, how has Leo navigated raising this biracial black girl
Right.
as this white man who considers himself a revolutionary?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if, oh, okay, how have you been doing it? Or I want to see his lack of understanding. I want to
Mm-hmm.
see him thinking that just telling her your mother was really strong was enough.
Right. Yeah.
Like, it's like there was so much more there he could have done that leaned into his POV that I didn't need to see his interpretation of what he thinks black women talk about when nobody's in the room.
Oh my God. Yeah. Then there's that.
You know, it's like, great, fantastic, we passed the Bechdel test, but also like, really? This is what you think we're talking about when nobody's around? It's just, yeah, it was just, I think between Timmy, PTA, Sean Penn, I think the theme of the night and some of the teasing that people did to like, you know, Stellan Skarsgård and all these people, I think the theme of last night when it came to the teasing was like, white dudes that think they get it and just need to close their mouths and stop talking.
Mm-hmm.
Just please stop talking.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up. Shut your mouth. Go away.
Yeah, because all roads right now lead back to him. Not all roads.
But for the night, it's like the true to me embodiment of so much of what, at least for me, was the rub of last night, was this thing that was embodied in Timothée Chalamet, which is the art I make is the most important art.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I rolled my eyes about One Battle After Another winning, I do appreciate in his speech that Paul Thomas Anderson was like, I can't even remember it. He was like, the year this particular movie won, it was nominated with these other movies.
Yeah, he kind of called them his class of directors.
But like, I appreciated that he acknowledged like, hey,
yeah,
I am fully aware that when history looks back on tonight, this will be no different. I mean, hell, because I'm reading the damn Bernie Getz book. It's like, this will be no different than 84, where it's Do the Right Thing versus Driving Miss Daisy. And now you've got all these years and decades later, people are like, wow, Spike was robbed.
Yes. I know.
Like, holy cow. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was just, yeah. And then the other one we talked about even before we started recording was when Michael B. Jordan won. And for people that don't know, typically black actors and actresses win supporting actor and actress. They do not win lead actor and actress. Only 6 people total have done that. One is Halle Berry, and the other 5 were Sidney Poitier, Denzel Washington, Forrest Whitaker, Jamie Foxx, and Will Smith. So when Michael started giving his speech, and he forgot, and he was like, I want to say thank you to Sidney Poitier, I said out loud, oh God, I hope he remembers the names of everybody he has to say. And then I stopped and I said, MacKenzie, he only has to remember 6 names.
Yeah.
That is it.
And like, I also think it's one of those things when I started just consuming more history about everything about America that I wasn't learning in school. It's one of those things where at first you're like learning like all this new stuff. And then once you've kind of like sat in it, then you start knowing like the key players, especially when we're talking about Black people in America, because there's such small amount of recognition. You're like, oh, I remember that. Oh, I remember that. So it's like, it's also one of those things where like, of course he remembered the 6 people, because it's like that's all he's had for like
That's
all
all he's
these
had. And
years.
that was the thing. It's like even I had to take a moment because
Yeah.
I remember once at BET, this was when I was at BET Plus, it was the year Cynthia was nominated for Harriet.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like live memeing the show, and I'd made like some memes before that. And one of the memes I made, because she was nominated for Best Actress, was it was an empty stadium. Like the meme was like an empty stadium with one person sitting in this massive stadium. And I was like, oh, look, it's all the winners of Best Actress, all the Black women who've won Best Actress in one place. And it was like one person in a giant
Yeah.
stadium.
Yeah.
And immediately the comments you get are like, no, you're forgetting Viola Davis, you're forgetting Hattie McDaniels. And when you have to remind people that is Best Supporting Actress,
Yeah.
only one person has won Best Actress, and it's Halle Berry
Yeah.
for Monsters Ball. And that was the other funny part, is like walking my boyfriend through like, this is typically the thing. It's like Halle wins for playing a drug addict opposite Billy Bob Thornton. You know, it's like,
Right.
I'm like, it's always like Denzel wins for playing a crooked cop, not for playing Malcolm X, which is an incredible
Oh.
performance, but for playing
Mm-hmm.
a crooked cop. You know, it's like,
Yes.
you know, and so I was saying to him, I said, you know, you look at this list, and I was like, and it's like, oh, wow, that's cool. And I go, but I also see like the roles they had to take, the things that
Yes.
had to be sacrificed, all this stuff. And I said, so there's also something so beautiful about Michael has really not, I mean, you want to talk about the Beyonce of acting? It's
Yeah.
he and Ryan Coogler have not compromised
No.
who their content is for, who they make movies for,
Mm-hmm.
what messages they put in the movies. Like, I even laughed at one point when they showed the Delroy, like, you know how they do the clips?
Mm-hmm.
And I kept saying, like, oh God, who decided on these clips? Because, like, the clip for Delroy is, oh, white people love the blues, they just don't love the people that sing it. And
Uh-huh.
I was like, oh my God, these clips are reminding people of how black this movie is and
Right.
how unrelenting it is. And I even
And
texted you, and I
yeah,
was like,
sorry, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Ludwig's gonna win because he's
Mm-hmm.
the one white man involved with this film who's not the bad guy.
Yes.
And it
Like
was,
he was
and
gonna
I
get
think
that
that,
one.
yeah, and I think there was truly something about Michael winning and his filmography and his content, for the most part, because like he's told these stories of because of Chadwick's guidance, have
Mm.
definitively been things I think have very much moved culture. Because like, yes,
Mhm.
there's the handful of Zac Efron level rom-coms in there, but for the most part it's been The Wire,
Mhm.
Fruitvale Station, Black Panther, Creed.
Agreed.
You
Yeah.
know, it's like he has really intentionally
Yes.
made movies that
Mhm.
speak to a specific group of people
Mhm.
and do not relent on what they're about.
Mhm. And it's
I
so
cannot tell
fascinating because,
people,
like, I
yeah,
obviously love Sinners. I
yeah,
don't feel like I have to keep saying. Probably didn't need to qualify that. But what's crazy to me, and I'm not saying this to sound like a well-meaning white woman. Some movies I see and I'm like, you really thought that was coming at you that hard? Like,
yeah,
that was just like a movie that had correct cultural context. That's the
same,
part that
same,
blows my mind sometimes. I'm
same.
like, that movie didn't hate on white people, but it did hate on the Klan. Like, kind of to your
Legit,
hit dogs holler
truly. It's,
thing. I'm like, why are you offended by that?
or my favorite thing I ever learned from my boss at Paramount. This was when we were working on Fences. So I worked
Mhm.
in the worldwide domestic market research team. That's the team that is largely doing everything from like, do we want to greenlight this film based on like the data and the appetite from
Okay.
an audience, down to like what's in the trailer, like,
Mm.
or even hell, what pull quotes get put on a trailer. You know, like how you'll watch a trailer and they're like, Rolling Stone says it's the greatest film of all time.
Yes.
That is the department. Like,
Yeah.
as you everybody's seeing Project Hail Mary
Dripping.
press, yeah, there is a department that had to look at numbers to decide what
Yeah.
quotes go on the screen at what
I
time.
believe it.
My boss, I remember we were working on Fences, and she taught me the funniest
Mm.
lesson. She said, if you want, and this was a white lady, her name was Karen.
Oh no.
She said, if you want white people to see a black film, you cannot use I words. it makes them not want to go to the movie. She said, so if you call a movie important,
Oh, okay. I
impactful,
thought you meant you couldn't
no,
have
like
the
literally,
actors
no,
saying
meaning
I.
like,
Okay, go
no,
ahead.
like you can't say this is an important
Right.
film. This is
Mm-hmm.
it's informative. Like
Uh, I
none of
literally you
that.
can't do it with books either. Like don't it fits. Don't
You
call it
can't tell somebody, oh
important.
my God, this is such an important book. You
They are not
have
gonna
to
read
read
it.
this. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, like, when I think about Fruitvale Station, that was a powerful film that
Mm-hmm.
so few people, like, if people want to see the early genesis of how
Yeah.
we got to here with
Yeah.
Sinners, that being Ryan and Michael's, like, and Ludwig, the whole team,
Yes.
that
Yeah.
being their first kind of go at a movie, it is one of the most powerful films I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But it was marketed as it's a really important film that we think everybody should see. I feel like nobody saw it.
Yeah.
So truly,
Dude, it
again,
was
when
back
people,
in theaters. I don't know if they're still doing it. I almost was able to go see it again in theaters, but I was sick and
but
it
like
was
that's
gone.
the thing is like when I am watching like Scorsese and Spielberg and all these people say,
Mm-hmm.
they're like, Ryan Coogler is going to be on this Mount Rushmore with us one day.
Mm-hmm.
You guys better
He's
start
better than
paying attention.
Mount Rushmore.
Truly, truly.
Yeah.
But it's like, but you guys better start paying attention to him. And I think
Yes.
to what we said in the first conversation, where I was like, Sinners is either going to get everything it deserves or they're going
Mm-hmm.
to play in its face. And for
Yep.
the most part, I'll be honest, I feel like they played in their face last night.
Yeah.
There's no reason that it shouldn't have won Best Director. Just for the fact that Ryan was able to explain to all of us what the different film aspect ratios were and why
Yes.
they mattered to the movie
Yeah.
and made me care about all the crazy magic they used to shoot both twins. I don't.
And I saw someone point out, you mean this film that got, was it 14 or 16 nominations
16.
across all of these departments that worked so well together?
Yeah.
How do you get nominated for all of that and the director is not the best director? And I was like,
And
that's
that's
one of the
my
most
thing.
logical
Like, how
arguments
are you
with
going to tell me the
me too.
cinematography was great? The
Yes.
costumes are great. The
Yeah.
makeup was great.
The
The
music.
sound was great.
The
The
sound.
music was great. The editing was great. So you're going to tell me all of that just happened to be fantastic. Nobody was in charge.
And it was, the director was okay.
There was no captain on this ship. What are you talking about? What? That's crazy. What? No, we don't know anything. No.
Well, and then the other thing that to me is like, take race out of it, which you can't. But
Yeah.
for the sake of people who say that and what they mean by it, so Sinners had like 4 theatrical releases, I think.
Yeah.
At this point, we have our initial one, then a couple months later it went all out into IMAXs
Yep.
again, so I even went and saw it a second time. I loved Michael B. Jordan thanking everyone who went multiple times. I was like, he's talking to MacKenzie.
I was too. I was like, yeah, I was like, thank you so much for acknowledging my hard work.
But it's like, then it was in theaters again around Halloween. Was that what it was?
But see, but to me, that is a reflection of campaign season.
Uh-huh.
Is because if you think about it, movie came out in February, right?
Yes, I think
That
so.
is where they park your
Yes, Black
important
History
films.
Month.
They park your black movies in February. They parked Black Panther there because the
Yeah.
assumption is it's not going to do numbers,
Mhm.
but it will get an audience,
Yeah.
a black audience who wants to see it, and maybe, because I know people are going to think this is literally how it is discussed, and maybe you'll catch white people that feel like they have to go see one black movie because it's Black History Month. So like when I sat in that theater and I watched it with my mom the first time, I genuinely was like, oh no, they're about to be on the campaign trail for like a year.
Yep.
Yeah, I was like, they're going to have to maintain the frenzy around this film until next Christmas.
Yeah.
I was like, they're going to have to get people to care about this film till Christmas, and then they get to start their 4-year consideration campaign. So that's also why
the 4th time was early this year in 2026.
Exactly.
It went back into theaters, but the demand was still there too. So I think like everything you're saying, but then the point to me, I'm like, the fact that people kept going to see a movie like that, even with multiple releases, that logically to me, that's why I was saying like the people who say keep race out of it, it's impossible. But to the people saying that, I'm like, look at like those literal numbers.
Yeah.
Should tell like One Battle After Another didn't go back into theaters.
No. And I think I think what's going to be interesting, and I want to see how the Academy deals with it, because this has been a critique since Black Panther, especially
Mhm.
from, no, this has been a critique from Black audiences, I'd say since like forever, but I feel like
Yeah.
it's most prominent that I remember around Dreamgirls,
Mm.
and it's kept going, is this thing of like, do not nominate Black films or films by, or people, or BIPOC films
Mm.
that bring people in so that you can get the viewership for the night of,
Mm.
but then not actually as an Academy voting body vote
Mm.
for these films.
Mhm.
Because that's what creates this push and pull where you always hear this thing about like viewership is down, people don't care, is because literally
Mhm.
people tune in. It's why they've now organized the show the way they do, is because they know these audiences, like perfect example, Black audiences, you could have Black folks who've never cared about film, but
Mhm.
because they cared about Sinners, they went to see all the Oscar films. They wanted to engage in the discourse around it. They wanted to be educated viewers. They wanted to be able to answer whether or not they really thought Timothée Chalamet was better than Michael B. Jordan. So
Mhm.
it's like they use it as bait to
Yeah.
bring in the audience to have the numbers from an ad sales, ad support, like profitability standpoint.
Mhm.
But then when it comes time for the actual Academy members, they're like, sorry,
I know.
I love PTA and it's really crazy he hasn't won yet. This was the first year that they required voting members to watch all
I
of the films.
know.
And that should
That's
tell everybody
insane.
something.
That is insane. It's like the
Yeah.
Goodreads Awards, which like
Yeah.
happy for people
Don't
who
even get
got
me
it.
started on those
Some people
Goodreads.
and my girl Erin with Junie got no, she still didn't even win. She was just
No,
nominated. So
I lost my mind because
but that's the
Lilac
same
people,
thing. Like,
yeah.
I'm just like, you're just looking, like, all it is people being like, oh, I read this one. Like, I really tried not to vote on ones that I
I
hadn't.
don't vote in a single category I know nothing about.
That's my thing. And I want to have read more than two if I'm going to vote at
Same.
all. Like,
If I
maybe not
open up a
all of
category and
them,
I've only
but
got one book, I'm like,
yeah,
MacKenzie, you don't know enough
it's
about
silly.
this.
Like,
Yeah.
it's nothingness because, and I didn't realize, like, I don't know how you force the Academy to watch, and I'm sure that probably means there are still some people who just press play and like
Well,
walk
because think
away.
about it. Think about how surprised everybody was when SJP was like, yeah, I'm one of the Booker Prize nominees. And she was like, I read like 150
They were
books.
shocked.
And people were like, there's no way. And she was like, this is my job.
I'm
This
like,
is all I'm doing right
if
now.
that's
I
all
was
you're
at,
doing, 150 is not much. And I say that positively.
but truly, if somebody said my whole job was to sit down,
Yeah.
Pomodoro timers, nothing,
Yes.
yeah, I'm like, that was not
It's
an
a book
impossible
every 2
number.
days.
When she said that, I said, that's not impossible.
No.
When I have
And then
Sundays where I have,
key in audiobooks, like it's very possible.
I truly was like, it's so possible. I'm like, because when I
Yeah.
think about books like Hunchback, I'm like, I read that in a day.
Yeah.
I'm like, I could have absolutely have started like, what's his face, David Salazar's book later the same day. It's like,
Uh-huh.
I'm like Flesh. I could have started Flesh later that
Oh, did
day
you read that
after
one?
finishing Hunchback. Like, but that's my thing where when people were like, oh my God, how is she reading all of these? I'm like, if
So
you
weird.
agree to be a judge in these things that are determining the best thing,
Yeah.
you should have to involve all the things. The same thing happens with the Tonys. You have to see every show.
I saw an epic thread that said something about needing Sinners to be on Broadway because
Yeah.
they're like, you can rig an Oscar, but you can't rig a Tony.
You can't rig a Tony. Nope. That is the God's honest
so
truth.
Much.
I have been to many a performance where you're like, the Tonys, you really do go to like a show where like somebody's been nominated for best and you're like, okay, I see why he won.
Yeah.
I see why this won. Like I've never sat in a Tony winning show and been like, how did this win?
Yeah.
I've sat there and been like, okay, I see.
Fair
I can see it.
artistic standards there. Yeah.
And I think that's the part that I'm just like, okay, we gotta step up. Like the Academy
Yeah.
is still the Academy. Y'all are still getting on my nerves. This is still lame as hell. The way you guys are approaching this stuff, kind of thing.
Well, and we even talked about it. Like, I wouldn't have been mad if Jacob Elordi won supporting because, like, it's the other thing that I think that movie specifically is making me think about how how much sometimes, like, I would say he was a co-star, you know, like it's
Yeah.
almost like Frankenstein and Frankenstein's
That did make
monster
me, my
are
boyfriend did say that
equal.
when they started reading the nominees, he goes, "How is Frankenstein supporting?" I said, "First of all, that's
Because he's
Frankenstein's
Frankenstein's
monster.
monster. Yeah,
So that's why he's supporting."
that's
And
why.
he was like, "Fine.
I know, but then it was
Okay."
making me think there are some movies where you're like, or like, I mean, I don't know a buddy cop movie, but that's what comes to mind that would be
See,
Oscar
my first
worthy.
thought of a
I love
buddy cop
them.
movie is Wicked. Wicked was a perfect
Oh
example
yes, there you
where
go.
Cynthia is actress and
Yeah,
Ariana was supporting actress.
yeah, yeah. Like it does feel like there are some that maybe we should share, but
Yeah.
that was I told Tyler I was like I think it could be. I wasn't thinking Sean Penn was even gonna get it. I'm to
I
be completely
it
honest.
in
That
my
shocked
head,
me. I was like, I
it
think it's
wasn't.
gonna be Jacob Elordi. Like I want it to be Michael, but I'm okay with.
I
Oh,
truly was like, I want Delroy Lindo to win
right,
supporting actor. I was
right.
like, he has been at
Or
this for
sorry,
so long.
Delroy, not Michael.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I knew
Mhm.
exactly what you're talking about. I was like, he's been at this for so long. He's killer.
Mhm.
It was very Stephanie Shu versus Angela Bassett for me,
Oh yes.
where I'm like, well, it's Stephanie Shu or Angela Bassett. It
Yeah.
never occurred to me that Jamie Lee Curtis would pull up the rear because the voting academy is like, oh my God, we love her. I know her. I met her at a party. Because that's literally what it is.
Yeah.
And to me, this was a perfect example of like, okay, I guess negging can get you an Oscar because the fact that Sean Penn's like, I don't want to come. I don't like you guys.
I loved that Karen was like, he's not here because he has something else or he doesn't want to be
He didn't
here.
want to come.
I
I
was
love
like,
that line.
oh,
When she said, or he just didn't want to come, I was like, thank God
like
somebody
thank you,
finally
sir.
said it. I was like, I'm so glad one of you said it. Or it
Yes.
was like, let's just be really real. This, and I loved the Shirley Ralph was like, that was a choice. Like that was all she posted on
Oh
Threads.
my
And she
gosh.
was like, wow,
Yes.
so interesting that the winner is someone who has not at all done any of the stuff we've been told we
Yeah.
have to do to
Her
get these
comment on
awards.
Timothée was hilarious too. Like I saw it on TikTok, but it was on some carpet, and like
Yeah.
so many people thought she even was. It was another one where like
Yeah.
people thought she was being sincere, and she was being sarcastic and hilarious.
Yeah.
I love
And
her.
I was like, of course she is. And I was like, because she's a literal trained stage actor.
Yeah.
Because all I can think about in that moment, too, about the Timothy of it all is when they did the actors on actors with Ethan Hawke and Sydney Sweeney.
Yes.
And that moment when she's like, oh, I get so like, and he's like, oh, have you ever performed on the stage? And she's like, oh my God, no, I get so nervous. And he's like, that's not nerves, that's laziness. And she's like, ha ha ha. And
He's
he's like,
like, you're
no,
not
really.
prepared.
Yeah, he's literally like, no, you're not a real actor if you've never like tested yourself and done stage. And she's like, well, I just get so
And
nervous.
Denzel is
And
like
that's what he's.
always saying that too. Like he's like, you can't leave the stage.
Yeah, and I love the way he explains it, where he's like,
Mm-hmm.
the movie is the director's vehicle.
Yes. And
Which
there's
again takes me back to why
cuts.
Ryan Coogler is so impressive, because it it is, at the end of the day, a movie is the director's vision. When Denzel said that thing about, he was like, you could give the most striking monologue of your whole
Mm-hmm.
life. He was like, you're crying, you're snotting, everything's happening.
Yes.
He was like, and the director has been slowly zooming in
Yes.
on like a can of beer through the
Yes.
whole monologue. He
And
was
you're
like,
like,
you just have to go, okay, all right. This was not about my face or anything. And when he was like, but on the stage, it's you in that monologue. You
yes.
have to sell that monologue.
Yeah.
And so, like, to me, when I think about a Ryan Coogler,
Yeah.
he really did let everyone shine. Like when Delroy Lindo told that story about
Mm-hmm.
how that whole monologue in the car did not exist, and that Delroy went to Ryan after a screening and literally said, hey, I think you need to leave this in.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, I'm not trying to be selfish or trying to be
Right.
like, I deserve a monologue. He was like, I just think otherwise Delta Slim is just like, he's just there.
Right.
He
Yes, it
doesn't
added
serve
so much
anything. Yeah,
depth,
he was like, you can't
especially
think.
to people who would not know the depth a man that age had experienced.
Exactly. Had experienced and been through, and like
Mm-hmm.
why he would be the way he is. Like, because let's be honest, without that monologue, he's just some random drunk that they pick up
Exactly.
at the station.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, again, to me, it is so reflective
Mm-hmm.
of him as a director that everybody gets a chance to shine
Yeah.
and his vision comes through.
Yes.
that every single actor gets their moment that you're like, oh my God, I get to know. Like when people talk about the first part of the movie being slow, no, you get to meet everyone. You understand
Yes.
Grace and Bo Chow.
Yeah.
You get what motivates them and moves
Mm-hmm.
them. So when she's screaming, come in,
Mm-hmm.
you're not surprised. You're not like, where did that come from? You're like, oh, this woman has opinions. She is not just a
Doormat.
delicate flower. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she's not the model minority. She's
Mm-hmm.
not being a good, quiet Asian woman.
Right.
She has this whole time given opinion. She's the one negotiating the money. Got
Mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Like he gives everybody their moment.
Yeah.
As we're like, yeah, you could argue, I see you, Paul Thomas Anderson. Actually, more so the Safdie brother. It's
Mm.
like more Josh Safdie that you're kind of like, I don't know what I'm supposed to care about here.
Mm-mm.
I don't,
Oh, no.
it's like I did have moments where I was like, we didn't need Gwyneth Paltrow. I'm like, I think we just did this so that people would care about this movie, my guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, Tyler the Creator doesn't need to be in here. Why is
Okay.
Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank in here?
Oh my gosh. Did you see his outfit last night? I mean, I don't know how, I'm sure you did. That dude is,
He's the
I would not
worst.
want to be in a room alone with that
He's
man.
really Canadian Donald Trump, and I just refuse.
That is the perfect way to say
I
it.
refuse with him.
And of all people, Mark Cuban, like staying, as far as we know, a pretty fucking decent
and
guy.
here's the thing, because you and I both have read Apprentice in Wonderland. I'm like,
Yeah.
Mark Burnett, you will pay for your crimes.
Yes.
You will pay for the rich men you put on TV and platform.
Uh-huh.
When I see you, it's on sight, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to have a debate.
Mm-hmm. Whether he wants to or not.
Whether he wants to or not.
Yeah. It's something.
It was a night. And now
The
I'm like,
other-
it's
The other thing
going to be interesting to see what this next season looks like. Because I'm like, all I
There
can
have been
attest so far
almost
is
no
it
good
looks
movies so far
no.
this year.
Right
Except
now
Project
it's
Hail
looking
Mary. That was the first.
That's true. So
Literally
Project
the
I
first.
truly right now I think it like the way it's stacking up, it's looking like if you were to like do a fantasy draft for award season, the only two films I can make sense of right now are Project Hail Mary and The Odyssey.
The Odyssey is what I thought. Oh my gosh.
And
We
that's
got
the
to
part that
see
sucks.
An 8-minute preview when we saw Project Hail Mary in 70 millimeter. I will be seeing The Odyssey in 70 millimeter for sure.
I'm jealous because every 70 millimeter IMAX theater here sold out the day
it did too for us. I saw it an hour after it had posted, and there were like 6 seats left.
Yeah.
And I was like, buy it. Tyler's gone.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm buying it. If he doesn't want to go, he doesn't have to.
Truly. I was like, I love that it got sold out here and then people were like reselling. They were like $200. I'm like, I don't care that much. I'm like, you guys are idiots. I'm like, no, if you bought these tickets thinking there's cinephiles that care this much, you missed the part of the AMC stubs where it's broke people, myself included, that are like, hey, I want a $2 ticket.
Yes.
Who do you think you're selling a $200 ticket to, my guy?
Yes, I know. Like, these are the people who actually care about being able to see.
I'm like, obviously you missed the memo. I'm like, you've missed the part on Letterboxd where we're all over here watching stuff for free $99.
Yes. It's one of my favorite subscriptions. I'm like, especially if anyone has dogs who, I say this, I'm slandering them. They're being great right now. But if you're ever like, I just can't do this. I can't be in this house by myself and keep getting barked at. You can go see a C-list movie and like, that's okay. It's kind of nice too. Like sometimes Crime 101 was good. Like never, I'm not going to be talking about it next year.
No,
but I had like dropped Tyler off at why is there motion in my garage? Oh, it's so windy that it was just the garage door moving. Okay, cool. I was like, no one's supposed to be here for like 7 hours, and I don't like that notification. But I had like dropped Tyler off. They had been crazy all day. I came home and they started barking at me, and I'm like, I'm gonna go see a decent movie.
Same. I know, that's more my thing. It's like, it's so interesting because last year really felt so deeply like this renaissance, not just of like film, but of like original story. And so I think it's going to be interesting that like right now, even on animated, because like think about it, the animated movie was like, it was like Elio, which is about like a neurodivergent kid with a disability talking to aliens, came out like already it's shaping up to be like, oh, Super Mario 2, Toy Story 4, I'm like, I'm like, oh, boo. You know, I'm excited, but I'm just like, damn, we had a really good year last year. And
I
I'm like,
know.
we're gonna have to wait.
I know. And the year before was really, really good too, because that was
Yeah.
like challengers. I know there
Yeah.
were tons of movies. Strange Darling. I loved Strange Darling so much.
Yeah.
There's so many. And then
Yeah.
there were some this past year. Ugh, like him. I'm still mad that more people
I'm
didn't.
still mad. Yeah. Him to me is one of those movies that like,
It should have
it's a
done
lot
well.
like Blink Twice. I feel like it'll catch
You're
on
right.
when something that happens in the zeitgeist makes people realize, like, oh, this movie wasn't that
Right.
gonzo and far out. Because I feel like Blink Twice, it, I say this as somebody who went to see American Psycho the musical
Oh wow.
in 2016.
I
No,
did not even know there was
2015.
a musical version of that.
Oh yeah. I had never seen the movie. This was 2015. This is pre this man coming down the escalator, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember they invited all the business schools in New York to this show. And the reason this stands out to me and it makes me think of him and of Blink Twice, I remember sitting next to this girl. Again, keep in mind this is 2015.
Right.
This is when everybody's like, nobody would ever elect that man as president. I remember the girl next to me goes, "This show is disgusting." And I was like, "What do you mean?" She goes, "I'm supposed to believe this man is so consumed by wealth that he's willing to like kill his enemies. He's willing to kill his own competition. He treats women like disposable objects. That is disgusting, and we should not be platforming men like that." If that show were to come out today,
Oh my god.
people would be like, this show is so deep. This show is commentary on the manosphere.
Yeah,
This
they would
show is comment
understand more.
same thing when I went to see Groundhog Day the musical. I remember hearing this dad go, "Yeah, right, because we're all going to be stuck in the same day forever." Okay. This was in 2019. In
Mm,
2020, all I could think about was if this show hadn't closed and it came out in 20 and it comes out next year, we all
mhm.
survive this, people would flock to that show. Same
Yes.
thing with Blink Twice. Blink Twice happens and people are like, what a insane movie about an island where
No.
billionaires kidnap women and children and use them and maybe even kill them, potentially eat them in some cases. What a silly movie Zoe Kravitz has made. What
Mhm.
an insane film.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to believe that people were being drugged on a sex island and taken advantage of and either disposed of or sent back into the real world and never to discuss it?
Mhm.
That's crazy.
Mhm.
If Zoe had just
We
waited,
even really knew then too when that
literally,
movie came out.
if Zoe had just waited 2, 3 years,
Mhm.
people would have been like, oh my God, Zoe Kravitz basically. Now everybody's like, oh my God, Zoe knew, she knew.
Predicted it.
I think that's going to be him. I think him will be one of those movies
That's a great
that
pick.
when we have another Aaron Hernandez situation and we
Mm.
see all that football takes from someone, I think then people will go, oh my God, this reminds me of that crazy movie, Him.
Mhm.
It's
And
like
it's
they
probably
selling
gonna
their
have to be a
soul.
white football player too.
It's going to take like Patrick Mahomes getting hurt and then like abandoning everything,
Mhm.
pulling a Tom Brady,
Yeah.
that people will be like, "Oh my God, he gave up everything so that he could be one of the goats.
They're
He
like,
really is him. He
when you're
really is
poor,
that
you
guy.
really have to take the money.
Oh my God, you got to give up everything to be the best. Oh my God." And then people will be like, "Oh my God, that's like that movie Him.
Yeah, they're gonna be
That
like,
was
it's
a
kind
good
of like
movie."
Gladiator. And you're like,
Literally.
oh yeah, really? Is
Wow, it's almost like it was exactly like that, you dummy.
it? That one should
So
have
good.
gotten. I love that one so much. I don't care that it's horror.
I know,
That's the
same.
thing too. Like, yes, the
Yeah,
end is campy
but
and
that's horror.
but it's
And
horror.
that's the deep dive you and I keep joking we want to do more of is like
Yes.
it's all of that stuff. It's like
Yeah.
it's making sure that people understand like there's deeper connectivity to like what's happening in culture when it comes to
Mhm.
horror films.
Yes. And psychological horror is just as scary.
Yeah.
I mean, that was physical too, but it's like I
Yeah.
think people aren't picking up on the psychological horror
Exactly.
in these movies.
No, literally. God.
Well, have you read anything recently that you liked?
Oh, I am right now, I'm on an interesting deep dive. So I just read my favorite productivity book. It's called Make
Oh yeah.
Time. I love that book so much. I cannot recommend it enough for other people that have like a real life and can't like turn their phone off all the time. I'm
Yep.
also finally digging into the last book in Ryan Holiday's Four Virtues series, Wisdom Takes Work. I've had it for a minute and not been
Yeah.
able to focus. And then I'm finally reading Razorblade Tears in the evening.
Oh,
Yeah. The
oh
library had it.
man.
The usual Libby hold where they're like, you have
Yes.
7 days. I'm like, joke's on you guys. I'm going to get this done in 7 days.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna love that one.
Yeah. I can't wait.
I am a huge S.A. Cosby girl over here. So I started one for anyone who is on YouTube right now, but this one is called The Hospital at the End of the World. It's
I've heard
about
about this.
Justin C. Key. To
Yeah.
me, this is like if artificial wisdom and well, I had a great comp for it just recently. Well, it might have left.
Ooh, yeah, because
But
artificial wisdom is one that you got me hooked on.
yes, the concept in general is there is, and you know what? I'm just gonna pull it up because this is when I was just having a conversation with someone about how sometimes you don't want to know much. Like if I don't have to read the whole synopsis and I know that there are enough elements to it that I like, then I will just skip it. So, okay. From the author of the acclaimed The World Wasn't Ready For You comes a thrilling first novel set in a near future where artificial intelligence runs the world, specifically hospitals, involving a young medical student who must unravel family secrets to uncover the truth of his father's mysterious death. It is blowing my mind with
Oh,
the
yay.
things that this author is incorporating into it. And I think I'm going to get to interview him because it was one of these wild things where like I started listening to it. It came out in February.
Yeah.
I started listening to it a little while ago. And then I got an email from a publicist and was like, are you interested in any of these? And his was on there. And I was like, yes, I'm listening to this right now. So please. So hopefully I'm going to talk to him, but it's like, it's Afrofuturism for
Oh,
sure.
nice.
And I think I think you and I've even talked about it. There are good uses of AI. There are uses of technology that people call AI and then they get scared and it's not even AI.
It's not even AI. Yeah.
And then there are bad uses of AI.
Yes.
There's all of that, and I feel like this is doing a fantastic job.
Oh, good. I love
not
those kind of books.
demonizing either side.
Yeah.
Well,
Because it's like at the end of the day, all technological advances can be bad in the wrong. I mean, hell, there are people that read who think there are people who read Stoicism and think it gives them the right to be a sociopath. So
cool. Yeah. It's really fantastic. I'm really enjoying it. And then I'm also listening to, because I saw you post about it, I'm listening to Cults Like Us, Why Doomsday Thinking Drives America. And wow. I'm having the same experience where I'm like,
I know.
I have moments now as an adult so removed from what my childhood was like, where I still have moments. Sometimes I read something and I'm like, holy shit.
For me, it's such a fascinating conversation because I'm like, what do you mean you're waiting on the Lord to return and you need Armageddon? Because again, I grew up in a black church.
Yeah.
So I didn't grow up hearing I'm apparently worthless. I need God to be complete. I'm like, so I have been shocked over these last few. I mean, I told you the story of me going to the evangelical church in college and not knowing that's what it was. And I was like, well, how fun. I was like, what fun. This music is so wild. Mind you, I'm not even putting together, like it was real Duggar style because your girl, I'm always 2 seconds from being in a cult. I'm always 2 seconds. My buddy James is the same way. The way the two of us have Forrest Gumped our way out of some horrible cults.
I think sometimes we're talking when you're curious about experiences, that's where it ends up like.
Oh, because let me tell you, your girl was at the hotel in LA during the inciting incident of the Bikram scandal. I was staying there for something separate, and I at the time was taking Bikram yoga, and I remember even saying when I saw somebody with the Bikram sign, I was like, oh cool, are you guys doing like a class? Ah, sweet. Can anybody join? And then my mom told me I couldn't go because she was like, you just got your hair done. And I was like, oh, you're right. So yeah, I'm always 2 seconds from ending up in a cult. I'm always inches away. And so that church was like my first real, I was in college and that was my first real introduction to that kind of like evangelical Christianity because, you know, you're sitting in a room where everybody's like, this is my person. We're going to get married. And I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. How long have you guys known each other? And they're like, oh, we just started courting like a month ago. And I'm like, What?
I have to drop
What?
lore because it's fun lore, and I try not to make this my whole personality, so I don't always talk about it. But then when I do share stories, people are like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
We moved. So like when you're a pastor's kid, it's actually pretty common to move every couple
Yeah,
years,
it
like
is.
in white churches. I don't know if that's other churches as well. And we somehow stayed in our first church for 10 years. And then when I was 10 years old, we moved to an even smaller, more rural town. And so when we got there, I can't remember what the word is because it's not deacons like other churches, but one of the biggest donor to this church
Yeah.
was had a son had two sons. One was 4 years older than me and one was 7 years older than me. And they started joking. I'm 10. They started
Yeah.
joking that I would marry the younger son one day. And then when I was 15 and he was 19, we did start dating.
Oh God.
And while we were dating, his dad would come and tell me about the dreams he had where God was revealing his grandchildren to him that I was going to give birth to. And he would come tell me this stuff each
Knowing
Sunday.
you now,
Right?
it's so funny whenever you drop
I
like
know.
pre-deconstruction lore because
Yes.
I'm like can't even reconcile this person even listening to
I
that. Like the
can't
person I
either.
know now, I'm like would absolutely be like, the
What?
fuck? So like idea
What are
that
you talking about?
the idea that there was a version of you that was like, thank you so much for that information. How
I,
exciting.
I was like, thank you. I do love your son very much. The extra kicker is he and my mom had been sleeping together for years at that point. And he played in the band and our families did everything together. We did stuff all week
You
long
are
together.
It's always fun for me because I have insane lore that when I
Yes, you
will say
do.
things, people are like, what?
Yeah.
And then it's always funny to me because you have insane lore, in my opinion, that is actual lore. That like you'll say things and I'm like I said, I'm like, this person and that person, I
I
cannot
know.
believe that they've existed inside the same human form.
I
That's
know.
crazy.
I was showing during my book club, one of our girls is from Spain, and I
Mm.
actually that was my graduation gift when I was 18 years old. I got to go to Spain with my mom. The whole time I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to survive being alone with her
Yeah.
internationally. It was scary. But I was showing them pictures and I'm blonde and I'm skinnier is the other part.
The
But they're
blonde is the
like,
one that more so gets me. I don't know what you're talking about with skinnier. I'm more so whenever you've
I
sent me old pictures, I'm like, who is this blonde woman?
know. And I'm probably 2 shades lighter than what I have now. But yeah, it just both my parents were blonde and by college it turned brunette and that was the same thing for me. So I was
So
bleaching by the time
funny.
I was in college, but they're like, I can't even like connect that person with like who you
Yeah.
are. And I'm like, I understand that, but for me it's not the physical part. The thing for me
It's
is like
to me it's the mental. Like I said, you telling
I
me
have no
that
connection
somebody
to
would be
that.
like, "Oh, I'm having dreams about my grandchildren being born from you." That I'm like that would never happen in a world of
No,
you
no
being
one would
around.
get to talk to me like that,
No.
which is why, and I texted you about it, but shout out to Wild Geese. We got to do some coverage of Marcus Zusak's The Book Thief, which, oh my God. If you want to talk about fascism is when the good people don't do anything, that is
Mm-hmm.
what that book embodies. So it was really special to get to hear him talk about it. But they asked if Tyler would do some coverage of it. And they came up to me after and they were like, oh my gosh, can you apologize to your husband? Because we realized we didn't know what his name was. So we kept calling him Mr. Bookwild. My heart just like almost like soared and elevated
Yeah.
out of my chest. And it was exactly what you just said because it was me remembering. I was like, I grew up somewhere where I was expecting to be, I'm not going to say the dude's name, but like
But
Mr.
like
and
you were expected
Mrs.
to be Mrs.
John
So and so. Yeah.
Smith. I was supposed to lose my name. I was supposed to lose my agency. I was supposed to have
Yeah.
kids immediately. It wasn't supposed to be about me. And so when they said they called him Mr. Bookwild, I was like, I have healed everything.
We have done it.
I haven't, but
Oh my
it
God.
felt like it.
I mean, I think that's perfect timing because I'm getting
Yes.
client text.
Ooh. Well, if anyone has anything they want to say to us, Well,
Yeah.
that's a broad
Yeah.
statement, but you can
Yeah.
DM us if you're nice.
Yeah.
And if you're
DM
mean,
us. Let us
who
know
knows
what
what you'll
more
hear.
rambling deep dives you guys want us
Yes.
to get into.